Real Madrid beats Elche 4-1, and it's been a near-perfect week for the club after the 3-0 win over Manchester City. Despite not having a traditional striker on the pitch, Madrid still looked dangerous. The team had to be more creative, relying on movement, combinations, and positional rotations to break Elche down. In build-up, Elche tried to match Madrid man-for-man in pairs. Thiago and Tchouaméni played as the double pivot. Fran Garcia and Carvajal stayed high and wide. Brahim Diaz and Camavinga positioned themselves slightly higher in the half spaces. And up top, Vinicius and Fede Valverde led the line. But there were moments where Fede acted as a lone striker, making deep runs behind the defense. Now, if you followed my socials for a while, you know I've been talking about trying Valverde in a more advanced role. Valverde is an open field player. When he drops deep, it's usually to increase the tempo of the game. But his shooting ability is far too good to limit him to just a pivot role or a traditional right winger. Yesterday's goal is the perfect example. Valverde is one of those players who is good at everything, but sometimes that can be a gift and a curse. Because when you can play everywhere, you often end up filling gaps in the team instead of being placed where your true strengths shine the most. And for Valverde, that strength is attacking the goal and striking the ball. Arbeloa's press looked like a 3-1-2 setup. Valverde tucked inside. Camavinga did the same, and Pitok positioned himself between Diaz and Vini to close central passing lanes. Another interesting dynamic was the constant switching between Diaz and Thiago. Sometimes Pitok would drift wide while Diaz dropped deeper to receive the ball. You could clearly see Arbeloa's instructions for the defense. Both Rudiger and Dean were told to step aggressively onto Silva and prevent him from settling on the ball. One issue that stood out again was Madrid's throw-ins. It simply takes too long for someone to show for the ball. Yesterday, Pitok was often the only player making movement to receive it. That needs to improve. Vini had a quiet game, and honestly it came down to concentration and decision-making. There were several moments where he should have stretched the defensive line. For example, here he should make a run to pull defenders back. He should run forward so Fran Garcia can push up the wing. The main objective is always stretching the defensive line to create space. Instead, he hesitated. To be fair though, he did make one excellent run that created space for Valverde. One player I want to give a lot of credit to is Dean. Biggest criticism of him before was that he played too softly. But in the last two matches, he has been excellent. Yesterday, he looked dominant. The way he angles his body to execute passes is extremely impressive. And with the next match at the Etihad, Madrid will need that composure. Fran Garcia was arguably the best player on the pitch. He rarely gets the praise he deserves, but yesterday he was outstanding. Very impactful going forward, constantly creating width and attacking momentum. A really strong performance. Fede has one of the most powerful and clean striking techniques in football. Most of his shots either go in or create rebounds that cause chaos for the defense, and credit to Rudiger as well for reacting quickly and finishing the chance. Another moment worth highlighting is Pitok pressing aggressively, then sprinting back to recover for Camavinga. That's careless from Camavinga. But Pitok still needs to improve his defensive positioning. In this moment, he should have taken the opponent's right shoulder and defended the inside lane, not the outside. You always want to protect the inside space first. The biggest story of the night, though, was the La Fabrica players. Several academy players came on and played almost the entire second half. Let's start with Palacios. The first thing you notice is his touch. It's impeccable. The flicks, the imagination, the intelligence. He looks like a very talented young player. I wouldn't be surprised if Arbeloa gives him more minutes in the coming weeks. Next is Yanez. Whenever you see a player putting his foot on top of the ball like this, that's usually a street footballer. His perfectly struck cross to Dean was incredible and really showed his quality. Then we have Aguado. Look at this last-minute defensive block. Exceptional. And it was vital. He made two important defensive stops. A very solid performance despite limited minutes. Finally, Manuel, a very intelligent midfielder. His ability to pass and move is excellent. He and Palacios have great chemistry. In this sequence, you can see Palacios covering Manuel's position when Manuel drops deeper. And this is exactly why I love academy players. They understand the principles of the club system because they've grown with them for years. They're still raw, but they're very well educated tactically. Camavinga needs to step up. Here he could have played a better pass to Palacios, but instead he loses the ball. Mistakes like this are dangerous. Madrid can't afford to lose possession in these areas. That mistake forced Manuel to try and recover the situation, which eventually resulted in an own goal. If he keeps missing games, it could slow down his development, and right now it feels like he hasn't progressed as much as expected since arriving. Arda came on and immediately made an impact. His through ball to Garcia should have been finished, but the biggest moment came later, an incredible strike from the tunnel area. And if you remember, Arda actually attempted something similar a few years ago, so this isn't new for him. Next up is the Etihad Stadium. Madrid go there with a 3-goal advantage, but the big question remains, can they survive the Etihad? We'll find out soon.